You're looking for application for Canada for H1B visa, this is how you're gonna do. So this is the page which you are seeing. This is a confirmation page which I got after completing the entire application process online. So to go to the process, we'll start with the 3-step procedure. So if you see here, so basically you have to go to the website and click that link which I'm providing here, and then you do all the simple steps like create the account, username, password, and then you'll get a code confirm like a security code to your email, and then you put it back in this website and you will get registered for this account, Canadian account. And then once you got registered, you can log in and then start the application for the H1B process. So once you start and go each page by page, these are all the options that you will be seeing in that website. Since this is a confirmation page, as I said, these are the only options that you will be seeing there. Again, I'm repeating, this is a confirmation PDF that you will also get once you complete the entire online application process. So as this says, is the at the top, this is application summary. So the first option, do you want to apply this for more than one person at the same time? Choose appropriately as per your condition. And then application for visitors visa, I want to apply for a work permit. In my case, if you're student visa or something, choose accordingly. What exactly do you want to apply for? So an online work permit for H1B visa holder, right? And then select the province or territory that you want to live or work. Right now I like Toronto, which is Ontario, so I choose that state. Okay. And then in the representative, are you applying on behalf of someone else? Right, in this case, in my case, no, so I put no. And the travel documents for the applicant, these are the basic information: first name, last name, date of birth, and gender. After that, here is the second page on the left side and the third page on the right side. So in the left side, if you see what documents are you traveling with, I mentioned as my passport, and the kind of passport is regular. Since my nationality is India, I put India here, and the passport number, and when was the passport issued. These are all the details that you will be able to find in your passport issued by your nationality. And then, do you currently hold a H1B visa? In my case, I do, so I put yes, and then the visa number, which will be again in your H1B documentation, and the expiry date. All these will be still present in your H1B visa, which if you have. And then are you a lawful permanent resident of the United States with a valid green card? In my case, no, so choose accordingly. Have you held a Canadian visitor's visa in the past 10 years? In my case, yes. And are you traveling to Canada by air, which is again dependent on what you choose. And the citizenship and places where you applied, applicant has lived, where the applicant has lived so far. So fill in all the details, basic information. I don't think you need much help there, you can do by yourself. National identity documentation of the application, in most of the cases we may not be having the national identity document, but since I have already given my passport as my document, so I have not mentioned no. Please cross check on this single field there, and mention and respond accordingly. Other than that, names used in the past, for in my case, no. If you have, please fill everything accordingly. And come to the right side here, this is the third page, right? Contact information of the applicant. So mention the current location or your current resident address, and choose if your mailing address is still the same as the residential address. And then list your current country or temporary or of residence. Then or add all other countries or territories you have lived in the past 5 years. for more than 6 months. If you have lived somewhere less than 6 months but in the past 5 years, you don't have to mention that, to be noted. And in the biometrics, if you have already given, then you can select yes. If not, you can select no, and then you can, anyways it will ask you to if you want to give your biometrics again, you can say yes, which is a better option just to be on the safer side. And the information about the education, work and other activities, this is the place I spent most of my time reviewing the application, doing a lot of trials, post secondary education history. So this means that after your +2, if you have done any masters or bachelors, please mention it here. In my case, I have done, so please be mindful here. This is the place where I spent like hours together figuring out the exact logic and what they are actually asking to fill us. So in my case, I have done couple of masters, but I have just mentioned the first masters during the time which I was not working at all. It was full-time masters. So I have mentioned the first master's study here, which is the beginning of my life in United States as a master's student. So I have given that to and from, right? So remember this time is crucial. You don't have to provide this time later in the work activity history. So once you given here, you don't have to mention second masters and all, because if you are working in your second master, you are working as well as doing your masters side by side. It's not encouraged to give those details, because you just have to mention your complete focus educational details. Like in my case, I've did my masters, so I put my masters here. I've tried putting the second masters, but it didn't let me go through the application, so I just removed that because I was working at that time. So make sure you just mention your full-time master's time period here. And then in the work activities history down here, if you have worked in the military or police history, you can select yes or no. And then let's go to the next place. This is in this next place on the right side, you see, so in the page 4, these are all the work information. So each box you see here, 3 boxes. First box is from here to here, and the second box is from here to here, and the third box is from here to here. So these different boxes, right? If you are working in IT, this is a feasible option. In the work or activity, select business, finance and administrative occupation, and in the job title, this is the subcategory. Once you click this, it will open. In this subcategory, there are a lot of options, but this is the more feasible option for what I do. If you are into IT, then select the technical occupation in computers and information systems. This is the only related option I have found related to computers and IT, information technology, right? So it comes only when you select this business, finance and administrative occupations, and in the job title you can get this technical occupation in computers and information systems. So once you have that, you can mention your employer details and a small sentence of what you do in your job. In my case, I just put leveraging my tool, whatever the tool or software I'm working on, leveraging for agile successful business outcomes. This is a simple job duty I have mentioned, and then the address of that work location, company or organization. And in the next one, the previous working place, right? So if you have changed multiple jobs, make sure you mention all of them. And yeah, I've moved for three different employers, so I mentioned the 3 work details. During this time I have done my second masters, so I have not mentioned it in the previous secondary school education details and neither here, but I purely mentioned my work status. And make sure you don't have any gaps in between. These gaps are very important. So this is quite complex, but this is the place where you find the work related stuff, right? So we'll start from the bottom here, okay? So that it will be clear. On the right side, the first, I have started my journey in the United States from 2014. So I mentioned it here 2014, and from 2014 to till now, these are all my continuous mention of what I have done, activities or job. If you have worked, you can mention that work related stuff. If you have not done anything, then put it will be considered as activity and it falls under unemployment. So make sure you cover this time period, which is really crucial. So only with this possibility, with this combination, it went to my next page. So the summary of what should be mentioned in the work and educational details is, in the educational details, it's good to mention just the last highest educational details, only that one. If you have done masters, PhD, anything, mention the one during which you have only performed that educational thing and nothing apart of that. No work, no paid, no part-time, nothing. So I have mentioned that master's degree program, and I've also mentioned that I was unemployed during that time and I was in United States, and that is also important. So since they are asking the last 10 years activities, so right now we are in 2023, right? So 2023, 10 years back is 2013 actually. I put from 2008 just to be on the safer side. You can put from whatever you want, but make sure in the nationality you mention it as India. That is one part, because it should all match. When I started my life in United States, then I mentioned it here as United States as a separate column. Until that unemployment period I was in India and pursuing my bachelor's or something, then I mentioned that in unemployment period here. So if you have lived in other country basically, then mention that time period as unemployment in that country. And if you were in any other nationality, mention that crucial period there, and make sure everything is continuation. There is no single month missing. Even if it 1 month missing, you mention that you were unemployed and doing and mention the address. That's all needed. So it has to be last 10 years. So hope you got the summary. I am once again mentioning you that I mentioned the highest master's highest educational qualification details during which you have not performed any other education in the educational details. In the work related, make sure you mention all the past 10 years activities back to back. There is no gap, there is no missing month or year. Only then the application will move forward. Once you have done this, it will ask for the travel history. Do accordingly. Mention you don't need any of my help here. Criminal and security, medical background questions, mention all the details, and the language of the applicant, and email address of the applicant, personal details, right, and the documents to support your application. So here in this page, right, you have to upload all the documents they have requested. So I uploaded all the PDF. The only problem where I faced is uploading the passport, because passport has multiple pages and all the pages together. The challenge was the size. So the PDF size, no matter what document you upload, it has to be less than 2 MB. So our passport will have a lot of pages, and all those pages if you scan, no matter what, it won't get below 3 MB. But I want to get my passport below 2 MB. So I read all the instructions again and again. Then I noticed that the passport pages, we just have to put those passport pages which has stamp and the visa, right? Rest of the empty blank pages you can just skip them. So I put all that PDF in my Word document. Open with Word document. Once I open in Word document, I get all the pages of the PDF. Then I removed all the plain pages. Then the document size tremendously reduced. So if you see, so I saved it as PDF again. If you are using Mac, it's easy, and I mean, you know how to do a PDF, so I don't have to explain that. So make sure all these are uploaded, and then I paid my application fee, which is 240 Canadian dollars. So you have to pay it through some of the provided allowed card details and bank details, and once you do that, it will be submitted. So the only challenges were passport document to get it below 2 MB, and then the work and educational places where I spend most of my time. Otherwise it will be just 1 hour of maximum 1 hour of time that will take. Hope this video helps you, and let me know how your journey goes on from here. All the best for your application, and provide your feedback in the comments. I'm looking forward for it. Thank you.